think that we're going to see several companies that rely too heavily on AI go out of business.
So what's one AI fear that you think is overblown?
AI apocalypse.
So do you think that AI is going to make us more creative or more lazy? Hello and welcome to another episode of AI Unboxed. Today we have Jag, who is here and he's going to tell us all about his vision of AI and also where he's come from and what he's going to do in the rest of his life starting today. So let's let's see how you go. So welcome, and maybe you can tell us, maybe give us the 1 minute version of you, what the people who don't know you need to know.
Okay. I'm an electrical engineer specializing in electronics. I do custom circuit boards and designs for medical devices, for wireless technology, for financial instruments, and sometimes for military. I use a lot of different tools and do a lot of embedded programming as part of this. And at first wasn't sure if AI would actually fit in with what I do, because so much of it has to be manually examined and thought about. But it's been an interesting tool to come along. I've found some uses for it.
Okay. So how are you actually personally using it? So let's take away your career path for a little minute and just, do you have like some personal ways that you're using AI today?
Yes. I'm working on a project involving lasers for the entertainment, for concerts and so on, doing some engineering upgrades to them. And we're having to do some like safety interlock, upgrades and different approaches to kind of streamline everything, which requires FDA approval and so on. So things have to be very locked down and proven. AI has been really good about looking at some of the potential gotchas.
Okay.
It has been even better at helping me with component selection, because with any of the electronics I've done in my entire career, a lot of time is spent just finding the chips and parts and so on that are going to go on the circuit board, and which ones are going to work best for the application, be easily available, be in stock, be cheap enough. There's just so many different factors to balance that it becomes very unwieldy. I can spend weeks and weeks just on a spreadsheet comparing it all manually and talking to vendors that come in to the office and spending time with them and trying to enlist their help along with it. But AI can cut that down to mere seconds.
But does that mean that AI is your new assistant? Are you going to call it like that? Or are you saying...
I wouldn't go that far. It's more like a really supercharged search engine that I don't have to spend the time to give it 20 different parameters, just a couple sentences, and it can figure out intelligently, make some assumptions about what I would want in this scenario.
Do you trust it?
So far, I didn't at first.
Okay.
I really needed to use it a few times to see that it's actually doing a pretty good job of steering me towards things that are going to work and that are commonly available. It's not really good at finding incredibly specialty components yet. And also, like right now, I can trust it to give me a unbiased answer, but I suspect in the future that there may be some commercial bias.
There's the prediction.
Certain companies want
to push their product. We haven't got to the prediction of 2035, but you just thrown one in there.
Yeah.
So you think the big companies are going to start to put the bias on their side, which would make sense if they did. That's probably what
I'm sure that they will do this at some point. So, the way I plan on combating this is having my own personal AI running on my own hardware.
Okay.
To be able to to have my own unbiased thing that I train with my own information. And that step yet.
And then you can sell that and then put your own bias on it.
I probably make more money selling that than the electronics themselves, yes.
Yeah. So then you're using AI every day, I'm going to say all day or a lot of the day?
It's not quite every day. It was just a couple times a week. Now it's gone up to about 5 days a week. So you could say every working day.
What's your favorite?
Right now, I am using Claude for code generation, for embedded programming, and for teaching me better programming skills as well. It seems to do the best job, but a close second to that is ChatGPT.
Okay.
I've used Gemini a bit, but it has run me in circles many, many times, making the same mistakes in code. It seems to do better for component selection and general questions. Like I haven't had a problem with it in that regard yet.
Okay, but then what do you have something that you refuse to let AI do for you?
Yeah, I will not let it do quality control because I need to double check everything that it's selected, everything that it's telling me against different safety standards,
Sure.
for things that are going to need to clear the FDA, for example, other regulatory agencies in Europe and around the world and so on. I need to really double check and triple check those things. And also for coming up with really new ideas, like novel approaches to things, it doesn't seem really good at that. Like I don't trust it to solve really tricky problems. It's good at finding solutions that already exist, presenting them, or perhaps combining other solutions. And if I give it just a little bit of a nudge, sure, what if we combine this and this and this, then it seems to be good at doing that, but it can't think of it itself.
Do you see that that's the future? 2 years, 3 years, never?
For most people who are designing things and building things, yeah, I think that's one of our human advantages is to be able to have this sort of spark of inspiration
Yeah.
that the machine doesn't have. I'd like to think that maybe AI can be truly achieve cognition at some point and to be able to give inspiration, have inspired ideas and so on. But I don't see it, at least not yet.
Let's let's see. And so what's something you're surprised that AI is good at over the last year? What sort of shocked you and thought, okay, wow, that's
Well, the component selection, as I mentioned, was one thing I was really surprised it was able to do. Other things I've used it for, like it's been really good at tutoring
okay.
for my own education. For example, learning human languages like Bahasa Indonesia and Spanish and so on. I'm not too surprised that it was good at that, but when it came to learning other things like teaching me how to step through different programming architecture and so on, I knew it would be good at writing code, but not actually trying to teach me how to learn it myself. I was a little bit surprised at that.
But did you train it on how you wanted to be taught? Or
I
did
had
it
to
just
I had to tell it to
Sure.
slow down, not write the full code and walk me through it. I haven't because I'm not a programmer, really.
Okay.
I'm a hardware designer and programming's just been a part of it. So
Yeah.
it's things that software engineers automatically know about. There's something that's relatively new to me.
Well, it's interesting. So where do you think AI is slower than what people would have thought? Like, is there a place you can think of and say, well, I really thought AI, if I go back to when I was growing up, we all thought that there was going to be flying cars, in about 2000. We all thought that there was going to be,
Yeah.
I thought there was going to be robots in everyone's house by 2020, right? So
Yeah.
there was lots of things like that. You could argue technically you do have robots, you got a robot vacuum, but I'm talking like, stand-up models, right?
Yeah, right.
So where do you think that AI is slower than, where you thought?
Yeah, things like that, like for like home automation and so on, because it doesn't have arms and legs, and the robots aren't good enough yet. It can't mow your lawn yet. It can't do the dishes. It can't
Yeah.
cook for you. We've invented machines that sort of halfway do these things, but it just can't really help with that. And things like when direct human-to-human interaction required for like direct medical treatment.
Yeah.
AI is pretty good at helping with medical research, but when it comes to actually treating patients and helping them along,
Oh, but it's like the robotics now in I'm coming from a med tech similar to yourself.
yeah.
So I know a lot about working in big companies like BD, Medtronic, and Johnson, right? The robotics there are insane, right? How they're pinpointing surgeries and
Yes.
So
in those specialty situations.
yeah, but there's
But for your average citizen who just needs the doctor to help them, rehabilitate their knee,
Sure.
kind of thing, and just remind them to take their medicine. It's not working so great for that yet, especially for the older generation that isn't used to integrating technology into their entire lives. An AI examine an engine, maybe send a robot to just do basic repairs or something like that, but that is a long ways off.
But technically, it already examines the engine, right?
No. I'm
already
talking about a used engine. Like I've been driving
okay.
this car for 25 years.
Okay.
It needs attention, and I don't want to crawl under it myself anymore. I've been fixing cars my whole life. It'd be nice to have send a robot over there,
Sooner or
diagnose
later-
it, and repair it. And
But sooner or later, you're going to be able to stick the robot. You must be able to stick it under it to tell you what's broken.
it's incredibly difficult for
That's a
it to
$1 trillion
scan real
business.
world situations visually and
Okay.
get detailed information about, just like a generic not set up case. What I mean by that is if you don't create a specialized environment where you control a lot of the variables and then you can see one engine then another with the exact same framing and it's the exact same model and so on. If you keep throwing a lot of variables at it, different types of engines, different lighting, different wear and tear, like that's just a lot for it to try to manage and scan visually. It's not there yet. And then in addition to that, trying to make robots that change tires, for example, yeah, we do have them, but they work for very specialized cases. You can't just say, "Hey, go out in the driveway and change my tire." Have it be able to figure out what kind of car you have, how many lug nuts. It'll eventually figure that out, and so on. It's just a lot of difficult things. Very different from being in a factory where cars are being assembled. It's a controlled environment.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. So and let's continue with this. So what's one AI fear that you think is overblown?
Oh,
Do you have a favorite there?
the AI apocalypse predictions.
Oh, you don't like them?
I don't.
You don't like them
think,
for never, or you don't like them for now?
For now, definitely, I don't think that this model, the LLM that's being put everything, is not really capable of completely annihilating planet Earth and so on just yet.
But if Musk keeps on building his robots,
Even then, as much as I wanted, as much as I don't like as much as I don't like a lot of what's going on right now in the tech industry, I still don't predict complete gloom and doom yet. A lot of these machines just break down before they can get to the point where they can do too much damage. They need human intervention. And a lot of the problems we're seeing are really more the fault of the humans implementing them.
sure.
Which I really see.
But the
that
humans will
happening.
always be there implementing things, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe AI takes over at some point, but when we switch to other models beyond LLM, we might have a little bit more to worry about that. It's hard to predict because if we get to the point where we have quantum computers and AI and so on, now we're talking about a very different beast.
Yeah.
And you can't say yet. It's just too early. We don't understand those technologies well enough.
But if there is the apocalypse, are you going to say it's from the robots externally coming, to take us, or do you think it's going to be an internal, computer-based one?
I think it'll come from us, not from outer space, if that's what you mean by external.
No, I meant I meant more like we create robots, right, that are walking around the house and stuff, and then they all start to, gang up on us if you want. That's more that side of.
They all just decide for themselves that the way to accomplish the objective is to get rid of the humans.
Yeah, they think it's not worth working for us anymore. We don't oil the screws or whatnot.
They achieve consciousness themselves. I don't see that happening. I see more of a Star Wars type droid future where they're very capable and so on, but they're not quite sentient.
All right, let's see this. So do you think that AI is going to make us more creative or more lazy? The schools have to also adapt faster. And
and they're not known for adapting quickly.